Hey everyone, welcome back to Outbound. I'm Perseus and I'm joined by Sage Zero. We're going to look at some of the July updates. Came out a little earlier this week, but we're covering them now. I think we've got the roadmap and Foundation Festival, some little updates on the patch.
Stormbreaker content,
We,
which we got
yeah,
into
yeah,
last week.
yeah, we
Um,
did get into that. Um, did you end up getting a look at the roadmap or any of the updates?
yeah, some of the stuff they've got in the pipeline is interesting. They definitely have a long list of ships that are kind of like in mid-production and well on their way, which is exciting. And
Yeah,
then some more movement on engineering systems 2.0 coming in, and a lot of ship control balances that I saw, like more than I was expecting all at once, just for a sub
yeah.
patch, right?
I'm looking at the roadmap here, and they got a couple updates. I mean, some of them are interesting. I mean, some hairstyle stuff. I've never cared much about this stuff.
Right.
Wicklow missions. Um, I guess the big thing is really here is this cooperative zones.
Yeah,
Um,
that's huge.
yeah.
Um,
So I mean, they're saying cooperative. As we know, Star Citizen is just kind of a murder hobo fest of
at the
just
moment,
shooting everyone in the back at any time at the moment.
so
And I know, yeah.
they
So
talked
we'll see
about
what happens.
this years ago. I mean, I think not not last year's CitizenCon, but the year before, they showed off some examples of this type of content that they were working on Hurston and some other stuff, and that is like the undercity kind of stuff, like missions like bunkers and cityscapes and stuff like that. That'll basically take you into some alley or some warehouse where somebody's doing something, and you'll get sent down there to clear out a mission. And that was
Yeah,
their kind of idea for introducing like instance small party like combat or missions and stuff. So I feel like that's probably where this some of this stuff is gonna lead towards. Um, they
yeah.
see,
I mean, I think this is definitely a needed kind of update. We'll
agreed.
see on how they implement it. If it's actually cooperative, like a lot of this stuff. I mean, Star Citizen is kind of most people are solo. It's an MMO or supposed to be an MMO. Um, but I'm hopeful on what they can put out. You know, that we still just need our systems where the rewards, maybe if they're shared somehow, instead of, I mean, they directly go into anyone that participated instead of having to fight over a box and it doesn't even go down an elevator or something.
If it's instance
Um,
content runs, I imagine it'll be shared loot and stuff. It'll be everybody who goes
yeah,
in as a
they
party.
need to
Yeah.
start getting that shared. If they're saying cooperative, hopefully the loot is shared. You know,
Yeah, I could see that.
because otherwise it's not cooperative. You just shoot other people for it. You know,
Right, but
uh,
if it's in like a zone like you're on area
yeah,
18 and you're going in under the city and it's like a fully instance thing, I don't think that's necessarily going to be a problem.
yeah. If it's
They
instant, you just bring your party in. I mean, you just pick your party wisely enough.
Right. Yeah, you don't have to
Um,
worry about things. So I mean,
I didn't see if I didn't. Was it instance? I didn't realize it was instance.
yeah, this is they'd hinted a while back that they were going to be doing some small instance content
Okay.
for this type of stuff. They did something similar with the platform missions on Orison, which it wasn't necessarily instance; they were technically open world, but they kind of like the places they sent you were far enough apart. It was almost like it was an instance. And then when they had kind of done that whole preview about doing like dungeon style content in the game, that was like instance for whoever takes the said mission, that kind of stuff, as a way to kind of like give like an intro into the PvP or the FPS style combat in the game, without having people to go venture out and do bunkers and stuff. So like if you've ever played Destiny, Destiny has a lot of those kind of like
No, I
little
never played it.
strike mission dungeon things that you can just kind of wander into with your group and go do. And as soon as you kind of cross a certain threshold, it becomes an instance area. It's almost kind of seamless. You don't really realize it. And I feel like that's kind of what they're
I
going
love that.
towards. Yeah,
We need some more of that, where it's just not just completely open. I feel like if you, like in, and we'll talk about this later in the recent content. But I guess they're gonna have ladders. That's great because people just completely bypass the ladders. They just turn their back on him and just drop down the
Yeah,
little ladder hole because it's faster.
and a good portion of the time you'll
If it
get
was
stuck
just
on it
less
or get
clunky,
murdered.
yeah, it's just got to be less clunky somehow. I mean,
Yeah,
turrets. I think that's great, honestly, because a lot of this content in PvE is, I mean, it's just too easy. I would love it if the tuning on some of the NPC, like bunker runs,
right.
or even not even necessarily that, but like the hangars where you bust into a hangar. Yeah, if I can have a guy with a minigun, you got to. I would like that. Some of this PVE challenge, so
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that they can get this right.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we're gonna see NPCs using those ICT suits and stuff pretty soon too. Honestly, especially after playing through the Stormbreaker and kind of seeing how they work, I could see that being an adversary. Um,
yeah, well, they just need to do it right.
yeah,
So I know when we were playing, they were quite laggy. They
yeah,
were they were you have to have counterplay. So if you're just lagging around as an NPC that's invulnerable, it's like,
yeah.
okay,
They
great.
definitely got to work on that a little bit. Um,
Um,
I think
the Wicklow
the
chip, yeah.
yeah, the Wicklow changes that they've been kind of loading for this next upcoming sub patch looks really good. Honestly, they definitely been
I
listening
mean,
to the
they have a new
community
ship.
and adding new ships, sorting the contracts
Attack
in
is
a way,
available in this
right?
contract. Yeah, you can attack. Um,
They're
so overall,
trying to make
I'm
the
hopeful. I
turn-ins,
mean,
so there's a lot of good quality of life crammed in this. So I'm pretty excited for 4.2.1. And
yeah, I
then
mean, some of these are 4.3, but
yeah,
overall, I mean, the focus of this year was playability.
right.
Um, I'm hopeful they can do it. I guess so. That was the roadmap.
The new event they hinted to the new event that's coming up in the next patch too. The resource drive event for the different Hurston or Stanton corporations, which is gonna uh, yield some rewards, some unique in-game rewards, kind of like the Pyro Frontier thing that they were doing a while back, which should be cool.
Was that here?
Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay, okay, yeah,
That's the
yeah.
UI for
Oh,
the
yeah,
new
this is
global
okay.
event
Yeah,
screen that they're going to be adding for doing
yeah.
global updates and stuff for the event progress.
What's interesting here is it seems to say that you can. Oh, this is the global, but
Yes, that's
it
for
said that you
the
were
whole thing.
locked to
Once
a
you
certain thing. I'm gonna guess though. I'm gonna be sad though if, say, Microtech, um, just no one picks it and you're locked into it and you're screwed. You can't get the rewards because everyone
well
else in the whole
they've
server,
separated
you
personal
know.
rewards. So basically, like finishing it for the faction is going to affect the story, but the rewards on a personal level are based off of your contribution. If that
All
makes
right,
sense.
that's fine.
So
I
that's a good divide there. I think that's a fair way to handle it.
I think our org we put out a poll, or one of our allied orgs put out a poll, and we'll just do it all together. Um,
I know
that's fine.
I'm a Crusader
I'm looking
fanboy.
forward to it a little bit. I liked the what was it, the other one when
um,
we were getting copper on Corundum. This was like the beginning of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that was the
Um,
pyro excursion missions that we were doing to get
I I
the
liked
cool.
that. I thought that was a great. That was honestly one of some of my more favorite times
Yeah, it was good times. I had
in
fun with
as of
that.
late. So I'm
You could
hopeful
take
for
the
that.
risk if you wanted, or you could just go out there and do the missions and collect the loot. It was fun. Um,
Yeah, a lot of AI updates in this. Honestly, I don't know much about them, and like, okay,
um,
just make them work, I guess.
I, I'm all for tougher AIs. There is a little bit in here that's tied into the AI tech update, and that is that they are adding back in the NPC police around space stations and stuff, and Stanton and law-controlled areas. They had disabled them for a while because they were kind of lame duck back when before server meshing, when everything was not kosher, and now the AI, even if they're a little laggy, is definitely much more snappier than they used to be. So they're trying to add a bit of an escalating threat to like police responses and stuff in Stanton whenever you have a crime stat and you're getting attacked. And the longer you're there, the more it's supposed to escalate the amount of AI ships that are there, and they're supposed to be much tougher than they used to be. So
That's good. Honestly, they need that reputation law, whatever. They need a law response. So you can't just be
Right.
camping out at a space station, shooting everyone just on the very edge of the armistice zone if people are getting outside of it.
Yeah, one of our
And
buddies the
just
other night
land forever. Like,
got
okay,
nailed
great.
just doing that. I had to go rescue him, but by the time I got there, I got caught in a QT field and murdered. But it happens. But
Yeah. So
he was doing cargo runs, and somebody was stalking him and just camping the armistice zone he was in, and then they rammed him in the armistice zone and took his cargo. So there's got to be some kind of consequences for that, and there needs to be a system in the game and that layer so that people can identify those kind of
you know where
nonsensical
that was in
assholes.
here? I didn't see it.
It was part of the 4.2.1 part, I thought.
Oh, okay. The other section. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, I'm hopeful for that. I did see pre-production gay tech Raylan, so the Raylan's
The
coming
Raylan's
around.
moving. Yeah, I'm happy
Yeah.
about that one. I want if I don't have a full dedicated cargo ship yet, and it'll probably be the Raylan if I end up getting one.
Yeah. I mean, strictly speaking, in our org at least, you don't need one. Just hop on board with. I mean, we've got numerous ironclads, merchantmen,
Yeah.
all D's. Then we have a whole E. Um, so, but I mean, I think the Raylan is cool. It's on my plan. I did see that the Kraken is on the design, so
Yeah,
it's
that's good.
moving. Um,
I'm honestly excited
which
to see a
is
Drake capital ship. I really am. I think it's gonna be pretty sweet.
we've got the Pioneer in white box, Perseus out of gray or nearly out of it. I think we're going to be able to see these three end of the year. I think a lot of people are. I mean, I'm anticipating this at IAE, the RSI potlow slash. Um, don't know if you can hear my cat going crazy. Um, but these are great. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
shit.
ships coming this year for UE. I think it's gonna be um, should be cool. Cool. The expo's what in November, I think. So I mean, not that far off, honestly. This summer's cruising by.
Yeah, we'll see some new ships at the end of the year. So we'll see how those go.
Yeah.
The community thing. Yeah, I don't really follow too much of this.
And they're ramping up the bar citizens and stuff again, so we'll see if maybe we can get a Solaris one and go on together again.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'd be down to see that. We're gonna. I'm sure, seeing as it's virtual, who knows? I mean, at the least a watch party is in the works, but um,
Yeah,
I think it'd
so
be
one
too
of
cool in
our
person.
org mates talked about a couple of us live not too far away from each other, but one of our org mates was talking about renting or we have a place that we can all go to and crash and just have a like a LAN party slash hangout and watch the Citizen Con thing. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's needed. So, um, I don't
Yeah,
know. I didn't you see any? There's some other stuff in here, but I mean, it's
mostly just talking about their team and where
yeah,
they're
it's
at
just
as far
system.
as like their hiring and that kind of stuff. And um, nothing super to delve into there. Yeah.
MTC is not LTI anymore, so that's done.
Oh yeah, what are the starter packages
Needed
for
token.
the new event? I know they changed them up. I didn't
The
see.
Foundation Festival, yeah. So they've got actually I really like this
Yeah, that is
base
actually
intro.
that sea green's a pretty cool color. I like it.
Um they updated this. The game packages.
Oh yeah, that's right. The
So they
Intrepid's
did
on sale.
yeah, so this is for the Foundation Fest. So it's an Intrepid 24 month. If you don't have a package, I personally I'm not getting it. If I'll wait for the um presumably LTI starter RSI salvage ship that is going to come out and upgrade from there. I'm going to guess that one is probably going to be in the same range as the Golem.
Should be.
That'd be about $55. Um, I don't see the point in getting this one. It does have 20,000. 2 year. I mean, it's much better than this with the this isn't a game package, but most of the packages are going to be 6 months. Um, so yeah, they do have. It's funny though. if you need a package, you might as well pick up this because look, they've got this one, and look right over here, $80. So it's Warbond.
Which means new
If you look
money
at this
only.
one though,
Yeah.
this version, 6 months. The other one, 24. So and double
Easy
the starting in UEC.
and the
So it's
fancy
easy
skin.
call.
Yep.
Yeah,
Easy
it's
choice
easy
right there.
call. If you need one now, you pick one of these up. But personally, I'm hold off. The what is it? The other one, and they call it a hauler, by the way. It's got eight SCU
It's not
storage
really a hauler.
capacity. Like,
Definitely, I
it's
would
not a
call it a
hauler,
hauler. Yeah.
and it's two the SCU boxes only, or you can have two of those, but you can't have a four SCU or a cube.
Yeah, I'd arguably
Um,
say the Avenger is more of a hauler than the Intrepid, because
yeah,
you can fit like
so
an 8 SCU box in an Avenger if you want to. You can't do that with the Intrepid.
they've got the cutter and the Nomad also. I mean this one is a hauler, so.
The Nomad's a good buy, honestly. If you do want to do the hauling thing, it's actually a pretty good buy.
Yeah, I think most people are all right with the Nomad. Well, yeah, that's it for the ships for this. But Free Fly is going on right now, um, till the July 14th. Um, there's all kinds of like recruiting stuff in here. I don't want to get too into those. If you're going to recruit somebody, you can find out. Honestly, most people that are getting into this game, I feel like they either see a YouTube ad telling them that the game is ready to play and then can jump in right now and immediately, and it's a complete game, or they have a friend in a Discord somewhere and they're just going to reach out to those guys and get a referral from that. The org thing, I'm sad we missed that, by the way.
Yeah,
But
we did. It was like right in the middle of the holiday frenzy, and I don't think anybody got around to actually
yeah,
doing it.
we would have submitted something that be
Yeah.
highlighted, but yeah. The free fly ships, you can get a Cutlass Red. I know I kind of I want to like this ship, but it's so fragile. I don't know. I got I was in one of our org mates Cutlass Reds, and it got clipped by a base turret, and it just fucking went down immediately. Uh, a Fury LX. I think
Which,
it's the racer model. Yeah, it's the
yeah,
racer
it is.
model.
Gladius,
Gladius.
the old
It's,
reliable.
yeah, the Golem. I guess the Golem is 60, so the salvage might be 60 as well. I'm gonna guess.
My
I
guess
think
would be
it's
it's
on
gonna be in that
55,
same
right?
range. Yeah. They need a cheaper version that's not the Vulture, so it'll probably be in that range, I imagine.
Yeah. We like the Intrepid. Hopefully, people will be able to experience it in the flight or free flight if you don't have it. Um, MTC, to me, it's a little. As the suits become more important, people are going to want to have this because it's got the two suits. The two suits. Um, and I hope they make suits more needed. Just you know,
They're
I
definitely
want
going to
them to
be
have a
specialized them. I think the
yeah,
radiation suits that they put in for Stormbreaker is the first kind of like, look, you're going to need different suits for different environments, and I think that's kind of them first stepping towards that.
I think when they make it so if you're a pilot, you can't just sit in a pilot seat with it, you know, 300 pounds of gear on your heavy armor, power armor.
Yeah.
Um, you're gonna want those things, and so that's interesting. People will warm up to that. This ship is cute. I like it, but um,
It's
I don't know.
definitely
It's just different, but it's also in a unique starter. I think it's people don't appreciate it enough. It's got a suit locker. It's got a full,
it's
it's
got
got
a weapon rack.
outside storage. It's got
Yeah.
weapon racks. It's got it all.
It's got bed, it's got
More
living
so than some of the other
quarters,
starters.
it's got a little bit of
Yeah.
cargo. Yeah.
If you compare it to a 300 series, it's got more than that, and because it's got a suit locker, it's got some of that. But don't get me wrong, I love my 300 series. But yeah, Vulture. So that's the last one in the free flight. So everyone can try those. Um, Did they have more stuff for this? I want to say that they put paints out. Uh, no, I don't think so. I thought they
Nothing.
would have had paints.
They've got the paints that come with the packages, and but I think that's about it.
I feel like they missed out. Whatever. Um, yeah, did they see the freelancer? I saw the freelancer had a paint. Uh,
No, yeah, it does. Or is that the prospect?
yeah, I don't know where you get it though. This Cutlass has got one too. All right. Anyway, any thoughts on the July update before we wrap it up?
No. We experienced the Stormbreaker event last week, which we'll get into in another video into detail because I have some opinions on that one. But other than that,
Yeah.
I think we covered most of the goings on this week. Which was yeah, I think definitely excited for some of the stuff that's coming down the pike with the 4.3 and just to see how that stuff kind of gets fleshed out in the game. But I'll leave it at
Yeah.
that. We'll see how that rolls.
Yep. All right. So leave in the comments if you got any thoughts on what you're excited for in the upcoming patches, and if you need an org, hit us up. We'll get you in.
Yep.
All right. See you next time on Outbound.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.